We're in the new Lincoln Navigator Black Label. This thing is fully loaded, over $120,000. Is this the ultimate three-row luxury truck-based SUV for a family? Today we'll find out. And does this have the powertrain to match the price tag? Let's get under the hood to find out. Nice, it's very well assisted as you expect in a luxury vehicle. We have shocks on both ends. It's effortless to lift this thing up. Now underneath the hood, it's actually quite ugly. Surprisingly, Lincoln hasn't done anything to spruce up the engine bay here. Well, the most important thing is not how it looks, it's how it performs. And we have a twin turbo 3.5 liter V6, 450 horsepower, 510 pound-feet of torque, made it to a 10-speed automatic transmission. This thing has enough power to tow up to 8,700 pounds, best case scenario, rear-wheel drive base model. We're getting about 15 miles per gallon in this big truck. You know, I say it's a truck, it is body on frame, it's based off of the F-150's platform. But let's get into the exterior design. This Black Label, well, Cass, you had an impression first time you saw it. What did you compare it to?
Oh yeah, it looks like a Range Rover.
Yeah, they've done a good job to make this look not so much like a Lincoln. With the two-tone, the black roof, the big black wheels, I think it does look in some ways a lot like a Land Rover or Range Rover, and that's not a bad thing. So it's coming to the front, we have this unique blacked out grille to the Black Label, and we also have this huge chunk of chrome on the front. I wish this was like a glossy black like we have down here or in here. Cass, what do you think of this shiny bit in the front? Would you prefer it to be paint matched or black?
Yes, we all blacked out.
Yeah, Black Label, give us more black up front. We don't need chrome. Coming around to the side here, I like the little touch on the headlights. It says the Lincoln Motor Company. I appreciate that little attention to detail. We have massive 22-inch black wheels that are unique to this Black Label edition. Of course, the Navigator badge is also hinted with black and chrome, and I think that's going to be a theme continue on the inside when we get in there as well. Black painted mirrors, we have a little bit of chrome on the handles, and you just see the glossy black here on the roof. And again, more chrome at the bottom. So black, white, and chrome is very much the theme of this particular vehicle. Now you can also get this in the L, and the reason why I mentioned that because the L will lengthen the wheelbase and it'll also give you more cargo capacity in the back. So let's come to the back here, wraparound taillights. We have a little light bar that goes across the back. Lincoln in black, which looks pretty good with this Black Label edition. Again, like the front bezel on the grille, more chrome back here would look better, in my opinion, if it was black like the bottom. There's a spare tire underneath it here, but we're not going to, fingers crossed, need that today. Before I open this though, there's two buttons back here, and at first it confused the heck out of me. I'm like, why do you need two buttons to open up the hatch? Well, one is for the glass. Reminds me of the Lexus GX in that regard. So you can put large objects in here, the kids can see out the back, whatever. So that's great for that added functionality. And then the button on the right hand side opens up the lift gate. With the hatch open, we have about 20 cubic feet of cargo capacity. Now you can get the L version, which gives you more interior space, more cargo capacity for additional cost. I'll put what that cost is down below. We have two little kiddos in the back here, and that allowed us to fold down one of the seats so we could put in the bikes. We're going to the park during this review. So we got the bike helmets, everything fits in here. It is a little bit tight in there, but we have a minivan, so it has all this additional cargo space at the bottom, and it works a lot better for us. But if you need to be towing, I guess this is a great option for you as well. Let's go ahead and get on the inside. And when you open up the door, this automated running board comes out, which makes it really, really easy to get the kids in and out of the car. Now, the materials on the back door here are pretty nice. Overall, soft touch all around with this nice dark and light contrast. We have wood throughout the interior as well. And Cassie and I both really appreciate the speaker grills in this car. I think it's the Revel sound system. Sounds okay. It's not the best I've heard, but their speaker grills are excellent. They look good. Now, when we get onto the inside, we have the additional entertainment package. This runs Amazon Fire software. Just get an iPad or an Amazon Fire. This is an Amazon Fire, save $2,000. You can get 20 of these things for what this costs essentially. So this does have HDMI as well as a SD card input, but just go ahead and get a bunch of Amazon Kindles for your kids. They can take them on the go. Now, this Black Label gives you this huge center console here that we actually don't really prefer because it comes out so far. It's hard for the kids to get into the back row. So we would probably just get a base model that omits this, as well as it omits, the outboard massaging and heated seats, for example. We have plenty of storage down here though. We have a cup holder set up. It is not the highest quality, like this feels kind of cheap to me, but we do have USBs back here, thankfully, a 12 volt, and you can also use a traditional household plug-in. You can control the sunshade from back here, which I really appreciate, because even on the base model, you can get this panel roof, so don't think that's exclusive to this Black Label edition, for example. And while I'm looking up, we do have vents that cover each outboard seat in the back, so we have it over the kids. The one in the middle, though, does not have a vent, but the one over the bikes does, for example. And the headliner in here is really high quality. That's one of my favorite things about the luxury, or the luxuriousness of this big truck. The headliner is just so soft, and these handles are of a really, really high quality all the way throughout the vehicle. This door up front is very luxurious, just like this back door. We have massaging seats up here, and how Mercedes of them to have, you know, seat control functions throughout on the door panel as well. Nice wood material. And then looking at this seat, Cassie and I are both really impressed with these seats. Now on the back, it's kind of like this hard touch plastic, but it's kind of like, it feels like you're in a cockpit. These seats feel very like they're taken out of an airplane, like a luxury airplane or something, like a private jet. You kind of float on top of this plastic base, and the quality of the seats are quite great. Now you also have adjustable thigh extension, which I wish this was a bit firmer. You can see how boingy this is. There are buttons right here that can individually extend for each leg. I don't know why you would need that. Maybe you have, if you have a shorter leg. I know there are people out there who have shorter legs, so I guess. But we're going to go ahead and step on the inside. Very easy to get in this truck with that running board. Pretty solid door slam as well. The first thing you're going to be greeted by when you get in is this huge touchscreen. I have an Android Auto in here. It works wirelessly, and I love this function where not only do you have it widescreen, but you have this button here that you can put up different things in here as well. Your fuel economy, there's that 15 miles per gallon we were talking about. So you have a lot of things in here that you can customize. It's one of the best, I would say, softwares that I've played with in all the vehicles I've tested. So well done Ford, well done Lincoln. Right below that is a 360 camera. That is pretty high quality, and I love how it takes up the entire screen. It's and when you're driving this in tight spaces, like it has a really tight turning radius. So even though it's a big old truck, it's very easy to maneuver in tight spots thanks to all the parking sensors, the turning radius, and this amazing 360 camera. Now your drive control, though, is a bit strange. There's just like these little tabs right here to go into reverse, neutral, and drive. It's not the most natural feeling. I've been driving this for a week and I'm still not used to it. Down below here, we have a nice volume and tuning knobs, and it's really close to the climate control. So everything's really close to your hand where you need it to be. I really appreciate that. We have heated and ventilated seats on here as well. We have a heated steering wheel. There's not a button for the heated steering wheel that I found. You have to go through the menus to go ahead and bring that up. When we go down below, we're greeted by a bunch of shiny, glossy wood. It doesn't look bad, but it can blind you, and it's accented with more reflective materials like this chrome as well. So it looks good, but in practicality, it's not the most functional with its high reflection. We have a couple cup holders here. Cassie likes putting her phone right in here for the passenger. I think that's well thought out of Lincoln here. We have a wireless charger on the inside, a USB-C and a USB-A inside of here as well as a 12 volt. I just noticed that there's an additional 12 volt in there and a light for nighttime. Here's your driving modes. We have a bunch of different driving modes in this truck, and the Excite mode, which forces into four-wheel drive, for example, conserve, normal. There is normal 4x4, slippery, and deep conditions. We're not going to be taking this in any sugar sand today, so don't worry about that. I just keep it in normal 99% of the time, and it's still plenty of pickup for how I like to drive. The steering wheel, it's okay. I feel like the buttons on here feel pretty Fordish, fairly bargain basement, to be honest. The logo in here doesn't look that high quality either. But as we go to the dash here, like the materials overall are quite strong. We have stitching up here, like I mentioned, the headliner earlier. I do like the wood that spans all the way from here. Then you have the large MID, then it goes all the way across and behind the screen. So that's a nice attention to detail. They could have cheaped out. No one's going to see this back here. Lincoln's putting that wood behind the large touchscreen here as well. Nice soft dash. Now, there are I think there are 4 different themes for 2023 that you can outfit this Black Label in. This cream and dark brown theme we like, but this truck has about 15,000 miles on it, and we're already starting to see quite a bit of wear and discoloration on the door panel. You saw it underneath the glove box, or even over here on the armrest. You saw it over by the glove box as well earlier. Now, here's another attention to detail. Even the glove box is soft touch. This is all soft touch, and they didn't need to do that. So the materials, again, are quite good in here overall.
Can I just say that if you can put it in different modes, like slippery mode, that's awesome.
You like that?
I love that.
Especially for Nebraska?
For Nebraska, when it rains during the summer in Florida.
Summer in Florida, yeah, you put in the slippery conditions.
I love that I can be like, okay, it's going to be okay, because my car's ready for it.
Your car's ready for it. And it's easy to get into. You just twist it. And it's a nice safety, I guess it gives you that peace of mind.
Peace of mind. I love that.
I appreciate that because I'm never thinking about that. I'm just like, pedal down, let's go. I don't care what the conditions are. But
I'm cautious.
Yeah, you're a cautious driver. And if the car makes you feel more secure, that's a great thing. Okay, well, I think we're going to get buckled and get on the road here. We're going to head to the park in this, see, like it's not natural for me to find the gear selects here.
Can I just say I also like the gear selects?
You like them, the buttons?
I do.
Yeah. I also forgot to mention there's a head-up display in here, and this head-up display is fantastic. Right now it shows that I'm in reverse in the head-up display. It shows me my speed, which is 0. But when you have like a destination pulled up in Android Auto, you get this huge turn-by-turn directions and how close you are to the turn. It's amazing technology. It's a big head-up display. It's crisp, it's bright. And then when you have your blinkers on, not only does the blinker show up in the head-up display, which I can't turn left there, it's a one-way, but it like, if someone's in your blind spot, it'll flash that somebody's in your blind spot when your blinker is on. It's a great safety technology. Another thing that I like is this has auto brake hold, something that the Armada didn't have last week because it's super old school. Well, we're just gonna pull, that's a nice LX Black Edition there. And I'm not pedaled down right now.
Yeah, they're stopping.
I know they're stopping, but that's why you get around them.
I can't do it.
She can't. So, plenty of power, and the harder I drive this truck, the more I like it. The handling is quite good. The steering is pretty responsive and gives me a good amount of feedback. Unless you're pushing it really hard, then it kind of washes out a bit. Now our 2-year-old is begging for the windows to go down. They really like the windows down in this truck. And when we put those windows down for the kids in the back, we just turn up the AC. It's very Florida of us. It's almost like we're driving a convertible. What's the ride quality like here? Well, it's not luxury, I'll say that. You feel a lot from the pedal, all the vibrations from the engine and the road through the gas pedal. You feel it, all the vibrations from the road through the steering wheel, and you even feel some of them through these really comfortable seats, some of the vibrations. So, and it's like in the brake pedal, the brakes on this truck are amazing. I love the feedback that it gives you. There's just feels like you're pushing into a well of brake power. I love the brakes in here, but the ride quality, not luxurious, nowhere close to the Armada, and the Armada wasn't on the same level as the LX that we had the week before that, and the LX costs less than this truck as well. The start-stop engine just kicked off. The engine does turn off when you're at a stop, and it's nice and quiet and smooth when it's off, but when it jumps and fires on, it'll shake the whole truck. Another thing I forgot to mention with this touchscreen here, so many manufacturers, they have the new Android Auto, which is great. It can take up the whole screen now. But Ford has kept all of their built-in software icons down here so you can easily get in and out of Android Auto, the radio, things like that. That's something I don't believe the Armada had last week or the LX had before that. But even though I threw this under the bus for its ride quality and it has a lot of vibration through the steering wheel, the pedals, etc., it is pretty quiet in here when all the windows are up and everything's off. So it is luxurious in that regard. I feel like the road insulation is quite good. You're not hearing hardly anything from the road or the wind around you when everything's, you know, obviously all the windows are up, etc. What do I think about this powertrain? I really enjoy it. It has so much torque and power. It's smooth. The 10-speed for the most part is very smooth. There has been some times when it's downshifting as you're coming to a stop. It's like clunked pretty hard on us. Also, when you hit like bumps in the road, you do hear the dash rattle at times, and like, to me, that's unacceptable for such an expensive luxury truck. But let's go ahead and like show what it's like to park this thing with a 360 camera. The turning radius is just so good in here. Like, I did not take a wide turn on that, and just like perfectly within the lines. We made it to the park, so what do I think of this $120,000+ Lincoln Navigator Black Label? I think it looks the part. I think it feels the part until you start driving it and you feel a little bit of non-luxury seep through with the rattles, the vibrations. But the materials in here are excellent. Maybe there's a little bit too much chrome, but that's just too much. That's my personal preference. The seating is so comfortable. The features are here, the technology, everything I like about it, at least as a mass market vehicle. But the luxury, the smoothness is not where I would want it. It's nowhere close to the Nissan Armada, which is it costs like what? That can cost like, it can cost about half of this in Nissan Armada, and it felt more luxurious. Not necessarily with all the tech and the materials, but how that vehicle made me just so comfortable, so smooth. This does handle better. It does have more power, but in terms of traditional luxury smoothness, refinement, it's not quite here. That's just my opinion. Cass likes this truck a lot more than me. So Cass, what are your thoughts as a mom?
I love the tech. I love that it can tell you exactly who doesn't have their seatbelts on.
That happens in most cars, but the chimes in here are crazy. They'll remind you, and while I don't like the chimes, you're like, this is great because it'll let, yes, because the safety in here is so good and the technology
so good. It reminds you to check the back.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we had the hatch open. Well, the glass was open. I didn't know the glass was open. It's like, do-do-do, do-do-do. I'm like, I just closed it. And actually the glass is open. So that helped me find a new feature about the truck I didn't even know.
I love the different settings that you can put in slippery mode or whatnot.
Yeah.
I love you can press the buttons and turn on and off your car or put in park or drive or whatever. I love the massaging seats.
Yeah, you've been using massaging seats religiously. I forget that they're in here every time you get in.
Good.
Yeah, it's just super easy for you to get into. Like, they are some of the best massaging seats, I would say.
Settings. They're amazing.
Yeah.
I love the huge, what's that called? Navigational thing?
Touchscreen, yeah.
Touchscreen.
Yeah.
I like how it looks. I think it looks really cool, really impressive.
You can hold on to it and hang.
I don't mind so much ride quality. I am more like, how safe can I feel? How safe can I make sure my kids are?
Yeah.
So that's my opinion.
Right.
It's nice and it's not cavernous. You're not like in a dark car.
Right, there's so much light being bought in here, but we got to shut it down because the kids, we're at the park and the kids want to get out and play. So I think, as you guys saw, I would pick other options, but Cass likes this a lot more than I do. So anyways, I'll see you guys down below. Catch you in the next one. Have a great day and peace.